Christian, the 282 Mikado has many jobs, but its main job is to carry the mail train. It carries mostly letters, but very few packages. The reason for that is because most of the packages on the railroad are handled in a very special train. This train is pulled by an engine named Jabril. He's a 462 Pacific type locomotive similar to Marquis. The packages are loaded into freight cars at Otisville, and then Jabril makes his way along the main line delivering them to stations. Sometimes he'll set out some cars on the sidings near the branch lines for another engine to pick them up, and in the evening he'll come get them again. Jabril had been taking this train for a long time and often gets praise from the managers for it. One day, after another successful run of the package train, Jabril backed into South Plainsville sheds. Allie, Chrissy, and Chrissy's little brother Cameron were waiting for him. "Hello, Jabril," said Chrissy. "Did you have a good run?" "I most certainly did," said Jabril. "The mail cars didn't give me any trouble, and I was on time to all the stations." "Is taking the package train hard?" asked Cameron. "Not really," said Jabril. "It's just like any other train. You have to be there on time and be reliable." "Something every engine should know," Allie said. Jabril agreed and sighed. "It really does feel good to be useful," he said. Early the next morning, Jabril was in Watsonville sheds on the shoreline. He was very surprised to see Mr. Egan walking up, and he did not look happy. "Jabril, one of your mail cars wasn't accounted for," said Mr. Egan. "Maybe it got misplaced in South Plainsville Yard," said Jabril. "I thought that too," said Mr. Egan sternly, "but it came up as never delivered." Jabril was in shock. "But sir, I've been taking this train for a long time. I know I delivered everything." But Mr. Egan didn't seem to be listening. He was furious. "Jabril, this is a very serious matter. We cannot afford slip-ups like this with this mail train. Sooner or later, we may end up losing the mail contract to the trucks, and we don't want that at all. It'd be a huge blow to our profits." "It wasn't my fault, sir, but I'm sorry it happened." Mr. Egan shook his head. "Until this mystery is solved, you are relieved of your duties for the package train. Steve will take it, and you will shunt freight cars in Otisville Yard till I get to the bottom of this." "But sir," said Jabril, but Mr. Egan cut him off. "Jabril, go." Jabril sadly arrived at South Plainsville Yard. Unfortunately, the foolish freight cars have heard of the incident and decided to tease him about it. "Oh no," cried the freight cars, pretending to be scared. "It's Jabril, we can't go with him. The last time a freight car went with him, it disappeared. We better stay on the right side of his tender." And they all began to laugh. Jabril was very upset. At that moment, Allie and Chrissy puffed into the yard. They were pulling a train of fuel tankers. They were surprised to find Jabril shunting freight cars. "Jabril," asked Chrissy, "what happened?" And Jabril explained about the missing package car. "That's unfair just to blame you like that," said Chrissy crossly. "I guess since I was the one that was assigned to pull the train, they must have assumed it was my carelessness." "But you're not careless with that train," said Allie. "You do very well at it." "I know, but I guess Mr. Egan doesn't think that anymore." Nearby, Cameron and Larry were getting their tenders loaded with coal at the coal hopper outside the sheds. "I think Egan's being a little bit hard on Jabril," Cameron said to Larry. "I know," replied Larry, "but Mr. Egan can be like that sometimes." "I wish there was something we could do to help," said Cameron. Larry thought and thought and thought, and then soon an idea popped into his piston. "I think we should take the matter into our own couplers," Larry finally said. "How?" asked Cameron. "Let's go talk to Jabril," Larry replied, "and then I'll explain everything." They found Jabril sadly shunting coal cars into the sidings. "Hello, Jabril," called Larry. "You feeling better?" "No," said Jabril. "I'm still upset about losing my train and about being blamed about something that wasn't my fault." "Well, fortunately for you, Larry has a plan," Cameron said to Jabril. "What's your plan, Larry?" Jabril asked. "We are going to search for that missing package car ourselves." "Really?" said Jabril, perking up a bit. "Yes. Mr. Egan will probably take forever trying to find it, so we have to take matters into our own couplings." "I like the sound of that," said Cameron. "Me too," said Jabril. "Then let's go," Larry said with determination in his voice. The three engines then left South Plainsville Yard. Larry concluded that it would be smart if the three engines split up, so Cameron went to check the inner urban branch. At Denville, Larry kept straight on the main line, while Jabril checked the branch line to the seaport. The three engines searched and searched and searched, but it felt like they couldn't find the package car anywhere. Larry was making his way along the main line when he finally arrived at Milford Yard. "Let's check here," Larry suggested. "You really think it'll be down here?" asked his fireman. "It wouldn't hurt to check," said Larry. They backed into Milford Yard, where Andrew was working. "Andrew," Larry asked, "have you seen any mail cars?" Andrew thought. "No, I haven't, but you could check that line of boxcars that Kevin brought in yesterday." The boxcar set on what was once a branch line. Larry backed down the yard and stopped just short of the crossing, and his crew jumped out and walked down the line of boxcars. And at the very end of the line, what they found was the missing mail car. "We found it!" called his crew from the end of the line. "Hooray!" shouted Larry. "We solved the mystery!" With Andrew's help, Larry retrieved the mail car from the end of the siding. He made his way to the main line and then set off back to South Plainsville. Chrissy, Cameron, Jabril, and Allie were looking glum at the station until they heard Larry's whistle. The four engines were shocked. You found it," said Jabril. "Where did you find it?" "Yes, Larry," said a voice. "Where did you find it?" Just then, Mr. Egan walked up. "In Milford Yard," Larry replied. "Well, I guess I'd better find out how it ended up there," said Mr. Egan. "No need, sir," said Larry, "because my crew made some phone calls since we found this car." "Oh, really?" said Mr. Egan. "Then what happened?" "Well, on the said morning when this mail car went missing, the diesel work in Otisville Yard that morning was trying to make up the train. This very mail car happened to be on a siding which was inaccessible because the switch was broken. The diesel was told by the yard manager to just arrange the train that he could and then get the last mail car later. However, by the time Jabril arrived, the diesel and its crew were getting so overwhelmed and busy trying to make up passenger trains that they forgot about the last mail car. So Jabril, not knowing, left without it. Later that day, it became a part of Kevin's freight train, bound for South Plainsville. In Kevin's work orders that day, he had to take some boxcars and put them on the old branch line in Milford Yard to be picked up at a later date. And again, no one noticed. So as you see, sir, there's no way Jabril was at fault. This was all just a breakdown of communication. Mr. Egan turned to Jabril. "I'm sorry, Jabril, for blaming you. This wasn't your fault." "Apology accepted, sir," said Jabril. Mr. Egan turned to Cameron and Larry. "You two proved yourselves to be very reliable engines, taking the matters into your own couplings to solve this mystery and to help a friend. As a reward for your hard work, you will both go to the works and be repainted." "Oh, thank you, sir," shouted Cameron. "That's very nice of you, sir," added Larry. "And Jabril, as of now you are officially reinstated onto your package train." "Thank you, sir," Jabril cried. "You three are very amazing engines," smiled Chrissy. "Very amazing indeed," added Allie. So the very next day, Jabril went back to taking the train that he loved the most. And the Friday, after Cameron and Larry got their new coats of paint, Jabril invited them both to take the package train with him, and they enjoyed it very much. Taylor, Chrissy, and Allie often joke and call them the detective engines. Larry, Jabril, and Cameron were delighted, and so the three detective engines they will always be.